I think I've seen one of your interviews where you said because your childhood and your upbringing and your life is very unique, but at the same time, other leaders of other cartels also had their own children.
Yeah.
And I think that in one interview you mentioned that you got in touch with
many of them. The
with
sons
many of
we became friends. We should be enemies, according to the laws of the mafia, the laws of the hate. But because we all believe and learn about reconciliation and forgiveness, I have many of their WhatsApp numbers here. The cartel sons, the Cali cartel sons. I have 2 numbers from them, and every Christmas, every year, they send me good messages. I prefer that instead of threats,
Yeah, of
and
course.
and even we one of them, Miguel Rodriguez, actually he's been called exactly like his father. I invited him to participate in some public events in Mexico because I thought it was what could be more shocking and important and inspiring that, me showing you the pictures of the bomb, the car bomb, and after that, and showing you how much we suffer, blah, blah, blah. And then I will ask Miguel to come out to the stage and give me a hug, and we can continue our story together,
Yes.
telling who were our fathers, but instead of choosing revenge, instead of choosing violence, we choose to stay together and say, okay, this is where this cycle of violence stops. We step out and it finishes here. And we are truly committed with that. And that happened with many of the sons of, and I feel that there are a lot of sons of that are willing to talk with me about all of this stuff, because I think we have a lot to share and to learn from each of one of us.
And also, there is this famous picture, and there's a huge story behind it. This one, I want
with
you
the
to.
Galan brothers and the Rodrigo Lara, that's minister son. Rodrigo Lara is called exactly the same as the minister.
Yeah.
All of the pictures. It was considered a historical picture in Colombia, because it was the first time that someone speaks about reconciliation and forgiveness. What's that? We kill each other here. We don't have conversations. We solve things with guns. No conversation. And so it was the first time that somebody like me approached to them and say, "I'm sorry, man. I don't feel proud of what my father did to you." And we had our meeting during the shooting of a documentary called "Sins of My Father." And it was a very, very unique moment for me. The first time that I looked into the eyes of my father's victims, it was one of the most painful moments. I feel more fear going to that meeting, even if you compare it to the Cali cartel meeting, because, at least, the others will be like the same kind of families. But these families is like... they are not saints, but they're good people, man, and so they don't deserve the violence they received, and I never felt proud of that. The paradox of this picture is that every single guy in the picture follow his father's footsteps, but except me.
They all became politicians.
They all became politicians, but I'm totally aware that I don't have I don't think it's the right or not, but I have to choose well, and that is not following my father's.
But getting in touch
example.
with them, for the first time, how was
I
that?
wrote a letter. I wrote a letter for them. I threw the draft many times, because how can you approach to a victim? How can you say hello? How are you? You're just offending them just by saying hi. You don't know how to start. They are living a truly authentic pain. So how can you, hey, good evening? No, you cannot say that. You have to choose perfect words to start a conversation. And nobody prepares you for that. I was just there. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to start, but I need to be there. I just want to be there. And I can tell you that I had a pain in my stomach that I felt like a knife, just like if someone stabbed me. It was like something very, very unique. And that pain remained until the end of the meeting. When then the meeting stopped and everybody was like relaxed, and now we asked for a couple of whiskeys, and there was a good gesture from Juan Manuel Galan, that he showed me. He opened his wallet and he showed me the pictures of his sons. That's a way of showing you. In Colombia, you don't do that, because you don't show your kids to anyone. And that was a way to say, I trust you so much that I want to introduce you to my family, and these are my kids. That was the time where I felt, okay, these guys truly believe that this is an authentic forgiveness and reconciliation process. So I felt very touched by that gesture of Juan Manuel Galan, because nobody dared to do such a thing. I never published a picture of my son, never, because, you never know. Having that experience, we all together, and they opening, their wallets to show me their families and their sons. That was a unique moment, historical moment for me and also for our country.
And there was one particular sentence they told you that was very disarming and made all the difference in changing your own perspective of your own life. It's at the end of the book. What they told you?
Tell me, remember me. I remember exactly. But
so they told you.
I just want to see if the translation is well.
You are the victim too.
Yeah, that was something that I never expected to hear, and that I never portrayed myself also as a victim. And I answered to them, look, I never saw myself this way as a victim, and I will never dare to portray myself like that. But even if that's the case, if I am a victim, I will be always the last man standing in the line, because before me there's a lot of my father's victims. So if I'm one of them, I will be the last one. And I wouldn't be claiming anything. I think that the story is over. Thank God it's over. And it's our responsibility. How can we continue with the knowledge that we have, thanks to this kind of suffering and war and damage and chaos and the perfect storm that you mentioned?
Yes, we're not going to go into the parts of your father's story about cathedral, the more terrorist attacks, the all of those very known things, like the bomb in commercial airplane where.
Yeah, those are, it's countless, it's
countless victims. Yes, and their
cannot,
families, and it's a wave of violence.
And you have to multiply, let's say, for the Avianca flight, the bomb. I met the guy who represents 85 families, and there were 107 people killed in that commercial air flight. And I don't see 107. I see at least triple the amount of people, because you have to think they have fathers, they have daughters, at least a friend. So there's a lot of people involved in that. It's not that, 100 people die. No, it's more people is suffering because of that. Yeah. So when I saw this guy for the first time in my life, I felt even more pain than when I visited the Galan brothers and the Rodrigo Lara Bonilla's son. Because he was represented even the civilians, also at the same time. And the great part of this is that we became friends after, his father took the plane. His father was, how can I say this word in English? He worked for a car agency for 30 years. He was the CEO, and he was about to not to resign, but he was okay, and he was going to receive a good payment, and he was going to retire the day he took the plane. And he was next to the guy who was about to take control of the company. So this guy, Gonzalo Rojas, the son, it's obsessed, and I understand why, to seek for the truth of what happened with this terrorist attack, because there are several anecdotes and sayings, different hypotheses of what happened in that situation, and I'm just trying to collaborate with him as many ways as possible for him. But I felt so bad after I saw him, because he represents so many people. And it was very, very hard for me to look into this guy's eyes, because it was, you could feel that behind him there was at least 300 people, not him alone. But I even collaborated with him with a great campaign, a very different type of campaign, because one of advertising agency, one of the most known advertising agencies of the world, offered him help to raise awareness about the people who was trying to buy things related to my father. So he asked me for the help of doing something, and the campaign, they created a whole website and a whole line of products, containing my father's image and name, and like glorifying him again. But even they go further than that, and they build and they design clothes for kids. Even
wow. Yeah.
So they went even deeper. So it caused a tremendous scandal worldwide. And this guy called me, "Hey, I need your help. I want you to say publicly that you are against this, but the thing is that people will like to buy some of these products, even like baby bottles with my father's face." It was like too much. So every time everyone went to the web page to buy an item, and they just push the button to buy them, instead of, okay, you are now going to your card, this is to place your credit card, a video of every single victim of the Avianca flight appear and say, "What are you doing? This is the guy who caused me this harm," and they tell the story. So it's a way to raise awareness, and it was a great campaign, because, okay, they call the attention of the people and the media by doing such a horrendous designs, but at the same time they were creating consciousness inside people's mind, because every time they want to buy something, they will find a video of their victims.
Yeah, but how much effect do you think this whole campaign and the thing that you're doing are, getting traction?
1% compared to Netflix, who's glorifying my father everywhere, is having posters in every single main city of the world. I've seen posters of my father's life, like this is the great life. It's like, come on, it's an insult to my father's victims.
Yeah, and you've seen people...
Direct insult.
Yeah, and you've seen people tattooing your father. Yeah.
Even I saw one of my father's, the face, he tattooed in the cheek. Yes, come on, it's like too much for me.
Yeah. And when did you start reconciliation with the victims, and who was the first one you approached?
Well, the first ones were the Galan brothers and the Rodrigo Lara son.
Yeah.
Exactly them. They were and this is the whole process started. So far, I've been, talking with 150 families already, not counting the Avianca flight. Direct victims, and I don't have a single case to tell you that, okay, this guy or this wife or this widow didn't want to talk with me.
They all wanted to talk to you.
They all want. And that's good. That's good, and that, brings me more hope to continue in this journey. Perhaps, I don't feel like in the beginning the responsibility to maintain myself, seeking for forgiveness is like my purpose in life. No, but it is, if I have the opportunity and if I have a victim in front of me, I will, I won't doubt and I will ask for the forgiveness. And it happened in many, many events, like, in public events in Mexico, when I just opened the event for the Q&A session and I stay with the public. Many of them have raised their hands and say, I am one of your father's victims. And they tell publicly the story. And I don't wait, I do it there, because you don't have time to think about it twice.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Yeah, and how difficult it is for you to go through those meetings, and how difficult it is for those families of the victims?
Oh man, it's just like living the moment again. The pain comes again, but it's the only way to take it out of your soul. If it's not, it's gonna stay and remain inside of you and will harm you in the ways you cannot imagine. It will make you feel sick. So that's why we keep doing it, because it's a way of healing. Forgiveness is about healing. It's not about forgetting things. It's about moving forward, but let the pain stay out of your soul, and so you can move forward in life. Because if not, you will always be looking to your past, and you cannot walk in that direction if you're looking always
over your shoulder.
Over your shoulder.